Hey, what's up? So I want to make a quick video. Yeah, just gonna kind of touch on this, I guess very lightly. Yeah, neither Republicans nor Democrats particularly care about black people, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason is actually very simple, and I'm talking about this more on a structured level than I am talking about like individual Republicans or individual Democrats, and so much as I'm talking about the entire structure and rank and file Republicans and rank and file Democrats as politicians. Okay. So the reason why neither Republicans nor Democrats particularly care about your black ass is because it's uh, it's be- it's because they're on your land. Okay. So the reason why black people are at the bottom of the caste system is because again, like, you make up the majority of your kind on this particular land. Now, the important thing to understand is that our ancestors, our people, our kind, have literally been in America since the beginning of time. We never came from Africa, none of that nonsense. That's more European lies. The reality is that this is the land that when the Creator created the earth, the Creator created you here. Africans are a completely different type of human being than we are, and we're not the same genetic makeup as them. In other words, they're a different species. So there's no way in hell we could come from Africa and be different to them. So yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, and we've been there. We taught them obviously, but that's a whole other story for a different day. We're not getting into the Atlantean thing, and that's a whole other deal. I mainly made this video about politics. I don't even know why I'm getting into history. I guess because it's your land, so it's applicable. So black people are the Native Americans. It's very important to understand this, that from a legal standpoint, Europeans have tried everything legally that they possibly can to basically to take your rights totally away, because greed is like a never-ending pit of despair. You can never be too greedy. Like, the more greedy you are, the more greedy you're going to be. You're going to become more greedy than you were yesterday because you're going in that direction of greed. You're going in a line. You're walking. We're always constantly walking. We're walking towards something. And if you're walking towards greed, guess what? You're going to get more greedy. So, it's not like Europeans like stopped, like, okay, we're just going to take their land. No, they took everything. They take everything from you because in a lot of ways, they also have a troubled time competing with you. And this also applies to business. I call it the football theory. The minute they started letting black people into the league, black people ain't never stopped letting the league. What do you think is gonna happen in business? You think that we're just good with dribbling the ball? You think that's the only thing that we're good at? You know what I mean? Like, imagine if you took those same intelligence that you have when you dribble the ball and you apply it to business. You start taking out the top businesses. You know what I mean? Like, you just start dribbling, the economic ball through your legs. You know what I mean? You start shaking cats and breaking their ankles because it's the same stuff. People try to only associate it with physical. Oh, you always hear sportscasters and stuff talking about, oh, he's so physical. No, it's deeper than like physical. Like you're not just physical. Like, you're intelligent. And that's kind of something that each individual needs to find out on their own. But the reason why those sports stars are able to do like half the things that they do is because they're intelligent. but we don't often associate physical ability with intelligence in this culture, because then if you were, then you would be like, hey, wait a minute, why are all these black people, so good at this stuff? They don't want to have that conversation because it's a conversation that doesn't favor them. It doesn't favor any of this. Like, things would change dramatically if the truth came out. And that's the last thing that these people want. They don't want the truth to come out, because things change. Things change forever. That's the last thing. So, a couple things, not only are us Native Americans, we're a different type of human being, we're a different species, if you will. We're also Native Americans, like this is your land. So the reason why the politicians screw you so badly is because this is your land. Like, they can't ever give you an inch. They realize that if they start giving you inches, you're gonna start taking miles. And you always have the most negative minded people say, oh yeah, we gave you an inch and you took a mile. Like no. Like, that's just some like American brouhaha that has lasted far too long in the human culture. Like, it's called negativity. Like, you hear people say, oh, yeah, he gave you an inch and he took it. That's some negative minded thinking. Like, those people are ignorant, like, you should not listen to like rhetoric of this sort, because it doesn't do any good to the human body. Is that person happy as he's saying this information at you? Is he happy? Is he laughing? Is he having a good time? He's not, huh? It's probably because what he's saying isn't the truth. You know what I'm saying? So if that's another thing I always tell people, if it ain't happy, there's probably something wrong with it. So it's another thing I always tell people. So, I just wanted to make a quick video right now. I'll probably drop another video today. But this is just a quick video. I seen this black lady running for some sort of office. She's a Republican, and she's using, Democrats. Like, oh, Democrats are not for black people. Like Republicans are not for black people. None of these people are for like any of the people that they claim to be. They're for the establishment. They're for corporation. They're for rich people. They're for other entities that are not like, the same class as the people that they're for. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like, this country is a sham. And the Constitution is a sham. That's the most important thing you need to understand, is that they only enforce the Constitution when it's convenient for them to enforce the Constitution. But every other time, they are always going against the Constitution, because the Constitution is not convenient for them. So if you do a history of how many times the American government has actually disobeyed the U.S. Constitution, that number is actually quite, staggering, and it's nothing recent. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Crow was technically unconstitutional in that time period. You know what I mean? And the people who were passing Jim Crow knew that the laws that they were passing were unconstitutional, but they also knew that it would take the federal government years to get rid of their state law. So they knowingly passed laws that were unconstitutional with the foreknowledge that the U.S. government and their slow bureaucraticness are not going to enforce the Constitution for years to come. So they knew that. They knew that, oh, we can get away with this law for 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? So they knew what they were doing. They knew that the laws were unconstitutional. That's very important to understand. That's on a state level. But on a federal level, McCarthyism or even before that, which was like 1919, around the time where America was about ready to enter the World War I. You don't think that America did pass unconstitutional laws then too? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, the U.S. government has a history of passing unconstitutional laws and unconstitutional restrictions. They don't actually care about the Constitution. That's very important to understand, is that the Constitution is not the point of this country. I know that you're raised to think that the Constitution is the point of the country. It simply isn't. From a historical standpoint, from a reality standpoint, you kind of got to pay attention to people's actions more than their words. Um, so if you really just look at the actions of the U.S. government, it paints a completely different picture. And yeah, the U.S. government has never cared about the Constitution, and that's when you really start to get into interesting ground. Because even when you start to look at the history of the Constitution, why was it a closed door convention? Why did freaking there was a bunch of written by a bunch of old money, blue blood, rich Europeans? Like why was that? Why was it a closed door convention? You know what I mean? Most of them were slave owners. Why do you think the Constitution had slavery written in it? Because they was written by slave owners. It wasn't about the principles. We believe in high value principles. It was never about the principles. Like it was about them damn greedy ass pocketbooks. Because it was written for them. And then there's another aspect of it where the people who fought in the Revolutionary War were actually planning on getting rid of the current new American government, because the American government promised them all this freedom and all this stuff. But then they were kind of treating them the same way that the English was treating them. So they just wanted power, and they lied, and then people were starting to get a little pissed off about it. So they had to create the Constitution to basically put a pacifier in people's mouth. Oh well, we can't have no other revolution. We want to start a revolution. We can't have them overthrow us. So they created something to give you a pacifier, and that's all the Constitution really is. It's a pacifier. Again, you got to look at the actions, not the words. They say we the people, but does this look like we the people? You spend a third of your day working. Is that we the people? Was a human being meant to work? And then again, you are always gonna have the most negative-minded people say, "Oh, you want something for free? Yeah, life is free, dude." like look at the bird, man. Like look at the cat, look at the dog. Like look at the animal outside. What do you think he's not living free? You think that the grass that he eats is free? You know what I mean? Like you think he has to do any extra work to eat that damn grass outside? No, he don't. You don't gotta do no extra work to eat the grass outside. Why? Because when God created the earth, God said, okay, it's kind of a free for all. You take what you need. You know what I mean? You keep going. Just follow your heart. That's all you really gotta do to live. Is just follow your heart, and you're gonna grab what you're gonna grab. Like, oh wow, you see a fruit. If your heart is drawn to that fruit, guess what? You're gonna eat it. And that's the way it was meant to be. You're not meant to work 8 hours a day so you can eat some damn fruit. That wasn't the way it was created for you to live. So, that's a whole other story for another day. But I just want to make a quick video, and, thank you guys for listening, and God bless, I guess, and yeah, take care of yourselves, all right? All right, bye.